Howdy and welcome to Forgotten XBLA Games, a mini-series where I review largely forgotten Xbox 360 arcade titles, and today we will be taking a look at Sealife Safari, a console exclusive to the Xbox 360. Developed by a mix of Wild Tangent Games and Wanako Games, and published by Vivendi in 2007, this is a neat little chill game that I paid $5 for, and I'd say that it was worth the price of one pre-inflation Little Caesars hot and ready. Anyways, the first thing I want to say is that sometimes the camera in this game could be a little jerky while you were turning. So this is not an issue with YouTube or your device, there's just some screen tearing at times. That out of the way, this is a shorter title that took me 6 hours maximum to beat, although it was probably closer to 5. Now, this game has very little story. You're an unnamed dude helping another unnamed dude take pictures of sea life underwater for research. That's the story, but to be fair, this game didn't really need much of a story. Alrighty, for gameplay, this is a on-rails photography game, where the game moves for you and all that you do is take pictures. That said, you can change the direction that you go by looking in certain directions, but the game never tells you when you're at a fork, or a turning point if you prefer. I mean, looking at a game like House of the Dead 3 for example, that game told you whenever you hit a fork in the road, and gave you an option of where to turn off. Sealife Safari just had random turn-off points with no sign that you were at one, and sometimes I'd turn when I didn't mean to, or I'd try to turn into a place that looked turnable, and nope, there was no option to go there. So I think the devs could have made this better by making turning points a bit clearer, but at least you're free to move your view in a 360-degree angle, although it could be a bit dizzying if I spun too fast. Now, for the objectives in this game, you're trying to photograph mostly fish, but also other forms of sea creatures, like turtles, or even fictional beings, like a mermaid or a kraken, and you get graded off your pictures. So the idea is to try to get the clearest photo of every animal possible, preferably from the front. And you also want to get a reaction photo. You see, you have something called gizmos, which you can throw at fish to make them do a pose, although the game does note that these animals are unharmed by your gizmos. Anyways, you want to try to get a picture of this pose, and you receive stars and points based off of your photos. The points are worthless, but the stars are vital to progressing in this game, as you need to earn stars to unlock the next level, and there are 5 levels in total. I don't know if I had a favorite, but the final volcano level was pretty neat. Now, you can only earn 3 stars maximum per creature, so you'll need to keep an eye out for every single fish. Plus, the main objective in Sealife Safari is to get a picture of every fish in the game, which is how you beat this title. That said, after you beat a level for the 3rd time, special fish and items will start to spawn in. While some are optional to photograph, others are required, ensuring that you have to play each level at least 3 times. And for those optional items, they would be things like an eel jumping out of a treasure chest, or a crab wearing a diving helmet, and you earn achievements for photographing these things. Also, there are 10 gold shells in every level, which you pick up by throwing a gizmo at them, and there's an achievement for collecting all 50 in the game. While I did not pull this off, I did get very close. Now, control-wise, this is a very simple game, and it is great for new gamers. You use the left joystick to look around, the left trigger to zoom, the right trigger to take a picture, and B to throw your gizmos. And gizmos would be things like a glow stick or a metal ball. Moving to other things, I should note that you can only take 24 pictures in 1 level attempt. After you've taken 24 pictures, or you reach the end of the level is finished. And you can go through your pictures, and you can either discard them or save them to your scrapbook. Although I must note that your scrapbook does have a maximum number of pictures that you can hold at once, so choose wisely. Also, there's an achievement for saving 50 pictures, And, as a cool bonus, Sealife Safari does have online leaderboards, which are still up, believe it or not, which kinda surprised me a bit, to be honest, although there is no multiplayer. Graphically, this title looks pretty good for a budget game, going for a semi-realistic, semi-cartoonish look. The sound effects were pretty good, and the chill and relaxed soundtrack was, well, chill and relaxing. Performance-wise, outside of the screen tearing issue, this title ran pretty smoothly, and I honestly only really ran into that screen tearing issue on the 3rd level, but it did occur on other missions from time to time. In conclusion, Sealife Safari is a neat little cozy game. Obviously, this game was targeted at a young audience, or maybe people who just really like the aquatic aesthetic of the 2000s. I mean, come on, who didn't like those cool aquatic soap containers? We all had at least one. Anyways, I give Sealife Safari a 7.9 out of 10 by my grade scale. I reckon the story could have been fleshed out a bit more, or maybe this game could have had a bit of voice acting. Remember, this game was clearly aimed at kids, who maybe wouldn't be able to read everything that the dude you work for tells you in the form of text, and this game would get a better grade if the screen tearing issues weren't there, and if the rail turning sections were more clearly labeled, but hey, a 7.9 out of 10 ain't bad. And yeah, Sealife Safari. This game is actually a Xbox 360 console exclusive, like I said earlier, although it did get a Games for Windows release as well. While I highly doubt people were banging down GameStop's door seeking a 360 to play this game, it is a small little exclusive that Xbox still holds, in a world where anything is an Xbox. And no, this title is not backwards compatible, and it was delisted with the 360 store closure. Anywho, as far as similar video games that I could recommend, maybe Dream Pinball 3D, mainly for the super atmospheric aquatic table. And I have reviewed that game, link in the end card if you want to check it out. Now, as a side note, seeing and playing a Wild Tangent game did take me back in time a little bit, as I remember a couple of my mom's laptops had the Wild Tangent Games app on them, and I remember playing things like Fate and Polar Bowler as a kid. Good times, yo. Well, that is it for today's episode. Thanks for sticking around and for putting up with my bad voice. It means a lot. For those new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, so feel free to sub if that sounds interesting, and follow me on GameRam for hints at upcoming vids and behind the scenes stuff. As for our Bible verse of the day, I read Numbers 23:19 in IV. God is not human, that he should lie, not a human being, that he should change his mind. And like always, none of my content is made by robots, and I never consent for my voice and likeness being copied and altered by robots in any way, shape, and form. Keep YouTube human, God bless, stay hydrated, and remember, as Qui-Gon Jinn once said, there's always a bigger fish. Developed by a mix of Wild Tangent Games and Wanako Games, and published by Vivendi in 2007, ensuring that you have to play each level